My name is Bob Cooper. I'm the president of the board, and I want to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for coming out and being here this evening. We have some special guests, I believe. Leslie, where are you, Leslie Pryor? Leslie, some of you who have been around a long time may know Leslie. She's been associated with Soldier's Best Friend for many years and left us for a while, and she's back. So welcome. She's training down in Sierra Vista. She's made this drive all the way up for us. Also catering for us this evening is AZ48 Catering. We'll see the food. Okay, they're back there in the kitchen. Okay. And we have the Gold Star moms who greeted you coming in. So thank you very much for being here. Who else do we want to recognize? No other board members today. They were all busy earlier today. So it's really great to be here to see more graduates going through the program. I believe it's going to bring us up to 345 in that neighborhood. That we have graduated through the program. There are 4 teams that weren't able to be here this evening in person for the graduation. Things happened and somebody had a baby. That sounds like an excuse to me, but that's so anyway, we're happy that 3 were able to be here. And Mickey, do you want to come up?
So Tom Sheets, who is with the Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce and also with the Military Officers Association of Arizona. Come on up, Tom. Tom is here tonight and representing the Military Officers Association of Arizona to present us a check. And so I'm always willing to have checks presented to us, right? So Tom, thank you.
Thank you. Again, as I said, I'm Tom Sheets, retired Marine, and I know many of you from my Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce and Foundation days, but I also am honored and humbled to be the president of the Arizona chapter. And we have a charitable program. We raise money at all kinds of great things like the Army-Navy football game, second Saturday in December, it's famous 48s, but so after we raise all this good money, we got to find good causes to give it to. So Mick, on behalf of the Arizona chapter of MOA, it's my pleasure to bring you $500 tonight to help support your great program.
Thanks so much. Now, don't lose the check, right? Welcome, everybody, this evening. We are so glad that you could be here with us tonight. We're happy that for those who are going to be graduating, and we're happy for those of you who are here as guests with us as well. We all know that, and we truly value the mission of Soldier's Best Friend. The mission of a veteran and a dog training together, building that trusting relationship, that bond with one another, is so important because it touches 2 lives at once. And the graduate testimonials over the years have been so powerful. I was telling some guests here tonight to get the Kleenex out because that always happens with those veteran testimonies when they're given. The experience is drastically life-changing. And we see it time and time again. It restores confidence. It reduces the anxiety for so many of our veterans. 2 days from now, we're going to be celebrating Veterans Day. And so this graduation is extra special because of that. Knowing that we're able to have this program that can help, once again, restore some sense of semblance of normalcy to veterans' lives is so important. Our Service and Therapeutic Companion Dog Training Program helps facilitate the management of a veteran's PTSD or their TBI symptoms by pairing them with that rescue dog and then that veteran, and they train together until that dog qualifies, as these 3 tonight will see, for service dog status. It's provided, all of it, at no cost whatsoever to the veteran, and I think that's really important to recognize. If you want to get a service dog from an organization, it's normally going to cost anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000, but we're able to provide that at no cost to the veteran. And that includes all the veterinary bills while they're in that program, their leashes, their collars, their dishes for their dog, everything that they need in order to train that dog through the program. And in doing this, we are really a parallel support to the medical treatment that the veterans can receive, helping the veterans to re-engage in the community and enjoy and improve quality of life. It has a positive impact. Robert's wife this evening, I said to her, how's it been to see the program? And she said it's been life-changing for him and for the dog. And that's really true, because we've taken a rescue dog, right, out of the pound. We don't know its background. We don't know what it's been through. We don't know what things they may have experienced. And we're giving that dog honor and purpose again. And we're giving that veteran an opportunity to be able to live life again to its fullest. And so that's exciting to see take place. I'm going to bring Jonathan up. He's our program manager, and Jonathan is going to kind of lead us through the graduation ceremony this evening. So, Jonathan, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Like Mick was saying, my name is Jonathan Bailey. I'm the program manager. I actually was in the program. I started back in June of 2021, and then I started to really fall in love with the mission and the organization. So I said, when you guys have a position open up, I'd love to come work for you guys. And so while I was the Veteran Services Specialist, I was in training at the same time, so those dual hats kind of thing. So a couple of things about the program layout and how it all works. My faithful companion here is Anubis. We graduated in March of this year. And so I'm going to kind of show you a couple of things that what dogs go through and the veterans have to go through as they're training through the program. The first step once they start into the program is called the first test they take is a Canine Good Citizen test. And teaching Anubis here a new task, and he thinks he's getting a reward for something. So what they have to do as a Canine Good Citizen, and really it's a well-behaved dog to be out in public. So we do that echo. So a couple of things. We have the dogs do a sit, down, stay, a 6-foot recall or a 20-foot recall, grooming, things like that. So I'll kind of show you guys here. So one of the things, like when the veteran goes into the program and they're expected to do a recall, here, it was break. Simple things like that. And the veterans, they learn on how to do that as they go through. And it gets challenging as they progress. After they do the basic obedience, that's when they go for the second step of the program, and they start training for what's called public access tests. Now those allow the veterans to go out in public. They go to Home Depots, pet stores, grocery stores, departments, all sorts of things to get the dogs used to environments that they normally wouldn't be in. So once they pass their first public access test, they have to do sit, down, stay, heel. They'll do a 6-foot recall, and they'll walk through the store. So that's kind of one of the easier tests. But then it progressively gets harder and harder. The second one, they go to a target, and then they'll do sit, down, stay, heel, but also we incorporate what's called under and a food drop. So the dog is expected to get under a table, a chair, something, and then also like we're in a restaurant, and then we'll do a food drop, and then we tell them leave it, and they're expected to leave it. Take it, good boy. Unless I give him permission. And well, when I did the test, he didn't see the food, so we passed. I won't tell the board president that. After that, then they go into the third public access test. Now that is the third most commonly failed test in the program because they're jumping up from a department store to an outdoor mall or indoor mall. And that's where we start incorporating tasks. Now tasks are the commands, if you will, here. So Anubis here knows orbit. So orbit gives me a safe space in a crowd or things like that. 6. I don't like people coming up behind me, so he does 6, and he has this thing to where what he'll do is his tail will wag, and then he goes, and then it alerts me. The other thing he'll do, push. Good boy, good push. Oh, good boy. Yes, good boy. So that's what we train the dogs to do. Now push for me is the grounding exercise. that allows me to really focus when I start to have PTSD things happen. I can focus on him. Now, when they're doing the test, the dog is expected to perform those tasks, and that's a really big jump for veterans and dogs. So, for example, you know, when I was going through the program, I was at Scottsdale Fashion Square on Christmas Eve. So, very stressful environment. My dog wasn't fully trained in trying to teach him on how to do tasks and do what I asked him to do. After that, all the veterans in our program go to the airport. So the airport is the most stressful experience in the world. I do not like it. I even don't want to go to it now. I try to avoid it. So we actually go to ticketing. We'll go through TSA. The dog is expected to sit. The veteran walks through security. Then dog is expected to come through. Then we'll actually go onto a plane. We'll board the plane. Anubis here, if you look at our seats in the back over there, Anubis can fit under those seats and is expected to do so. But I'm going to be one of those and I will choose bulkhead seating. After that, the veteran then goes into the bathroom and is expected to get inside the bathroom with our dog. So Anubis is very challenging. After that, usually the dog is, you know, expected to perform as the service dog, and they're at that level at that point, and then they'll do their final test. That's where the dog is expected to perform everything: sit down, stay, heel, tasks, food drops, under, kid distraction, noise distraction, dog distraction, other things like that, and that's usually at a mall. Very stressful for veterans to go through. Most of the time you can see the angst and anxiety as they're going through. And a lot of times when they do fail tests, it brings a lot of frustration as they go through the program. But they're allowed to try again, over and over again. And then, so the next thing I would like to say is we couldn't do it much without our trainers in the program. So if you're a trainer, please stand up. So I'm going to say these ladies, because we don't have any men trainers right now, so these ladies do a fantastic job, and you'll hear some of the testimonies. And if you ask the veterans about their trainers, they build, I would say, life-changing and friendships and bonding experiences. I'd like to say, for one, Bailey and Robert right here in the front, you know, they're from Tucson and they drove up here to be in the graduation, and you can see the support that our trainer has for the veterans. I want to say thank you guys for everything that you guys have been doing for the veterans, as helping them through the program and keep going, and even through the trying hard times, because as we all know, sometimes it's not easy working with veterans. Sometimes we can be stubborn, we can be angry, Roberts, both of them, but you know, it is very rewarding and we appreciate what you do for us. So tonight, as the dogs and veterans, as they're graduating through the program, they'll be receiving a couple things. First is going to be a certificate of completion. What they have to do is 180 hours of training. The next thing they'll do, and thank you, Sharkfin. Sharkfin actually created their vest tonight. So they'll be getting a brand new vest, and then also it's going to have their name and dog tag on it as well. But then they'll get a challenge point for us. And challenge point is, as always, you know, for us, that's a really important thing. You get to speak. I'm done.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do our official graduation ceremony. Our teams are going to come up on stage to receive their graduation packets. We want to invite the trainers to come up with them, please, as well. Tammy Pulaski, who's with the Gold Star Moms, she is going to be up here as well to give them their Gold Star coin, and her team, I guess, as well, right? Is going to be up here to give them their Gold Star team. And each team tonight, as Jonathan said, is going to be receiving a graduation vest. We are so thankful. Jack Armstrong from a brand new company here in the Valley, Sharkfin, is providing those vests for us tonight, and they're just wonderful vests, as well as providing a dog tag with the dog's name on it and the name tag of the dog that goes on the vest as well. Yeah, so Jonathan, I'm going to let you introduce the teams one by one, and we'll get started.
All right, so first team that I'm going to introduce is Robert Olson and Winter with their trainer Bailey. So I'm going to be giving Bob's testimony, more of my relationship with Robert as he the best. Winter gets really excited. So a few months ago, quite a few months ago, I was getting back we were trying to get veterans back into the program, trying to re-engage for those who either stopped their application process or didn't complete training or things like that. And then for some reason I received this really angry email back from somebody, and I was like, really, what was happening? So I called Robert up and I said, hey, what's going on? And he just told me his experiences and what was happening and stuff like that. And he just had a lot of things happen with the PTSD that was impacting his training. And previously it was hard for some of the staff to understand that. And so Robert and I had some really honest conversations about how we can help. Robert then, expressed some of his frustrations about, Winter and what she was, her training and progressing. So I invited Robert up here to meet with the staff, with Shelby, who is our adoption specialist, and myself, and we really wanted to look at Winter to see if she can complete the program. Well then, we had decided that, she was absolutely capable, if you could see tonight. And then we introduced Bailey and also Robert and completion, and they help each other out. So, but yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Robert, you want to talk?
I'd like to thank SBF for helping me out. I was out for the program for a while because what was happening with my other trainer and what was going on with SBF. And I came back and she has improved 100% since from the first time. I've been in the program for almost 3 years, well, almost 4 years now, 4 years now. And it took a while, but it takes patience, and thank you all very much.
I don't like the stage either. The next team I'm going to ask up tonight is going to be Montel Martin and Apache. I won't tell very many people this, but if Apache ever wants to go to a new home, I will take him immediately. I love Apache. Funny story about him is I fostered Apache, and Apache did not want to be around me or even around my other dogs. He'd go stand in his room and hang out. And then every time I would come into the training facility, Apache would just lose his mind, and so I had to step away.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not one for long speeches or anything like that. I've done that stuff in the military. Nobody wants to sit there and listen to some weirdo talk for an hour. But I will say, there's a lot of charity organizations out there, and a lot of the times you don't see a quality come through with a lot of them. This is one of the organizations that actually puts a lot of time and effort alongside having the veteran put a lot of time and utilizing their time in a way that isn't wasteful. So what I'm really trying to say is the veteran gets to do something that's improving their life, the training and organization gets to help them out, and they're not wasting their time in a van down by the river.
Awesome. So the last team that I would like to introduce and bring up is going to be Robert Tiny Hogan and Mabel. He's not so tiny.
That's my turn.
Oh, man.
I started writing this shortly to do like 3 minutes, and it ended up being like 5 pages. So I'm not going to do all that, so I didn't bring that paperwork with me.
Mom just appreciates that too.
Yeah. This last 2 years has been really tough for me. I lost a previous dog that I'd had for 13 years. She was 14 years old and cancer took her. And so I worked with a nonprofit, with nonprofits for about the last 8 years. And I stepped away as president of a nonprofit at the beginning of this year to focus on myself. I also went through a divorce. I struggle with people. I don't like people very much. And it's not unlike, I don't trust myself around people because of my PTSD. I get annoyed. And if I don't like you, I'll tell you I don't like you. And I don't really care if you like it or not. That's just my attitude. And that's what she's supposed to help me with. and it scares me because I can't explode. And I really worried about that training with this dog. And then I get her as my trainer. And at first I was scared because she's young, but she's actually an amazing trainer, an amazing person. And I'm so thankful that I've met her and I got to work with her this year, because there was situations at the mall that somebody would ended up getting hurt because this guy wanted to pet the dogs, and I just let her handle it. She said no, and then he's like, why? Well, they're service dog. Well, why? Why? And he's there with his daughter, and my next reaction was not going to be very kind. I won't say it here because there's ladies here, but that you can imagine what it was going to be. But she handled it very well, and she kept me, because it really was irritating me, because why are you harassing us? And that's a fear that I've always had. And I've been able to go out with Shelby and Mabel, and it's been really good for me. They're also my son, who's been with me through this. Thank you, Hunter. Karina, my girlfriend, she's been through me with all this. And we didn't start dating until after I was divorced, so we never even talked before then, so it wasn't anything to do with that. We've known each other for quite a while working in the nonprofit world, but it was nothing like that. But yeah, it's just been an amazing experience, and I'm looking forward to continue working with Shelby and some of the other people here, because it's been really good for me to get me outside. It's hard to be me outside. When I'm tiny working with nonprofits, that's a different person. And it's hard to be me sometimes out here.
I have a rule, no crying aloud, unless I start first.
It's her first one.
But there are a few other teams that couldn't be here tonight. We actually had a total of 7 graduates, actually 6, that, like Bob had said, one, she actually had her baby, I believe it was Friday or Monday. So she's, recovering from that. Brittany DeSander, she'll be receiving the same items today. She'll be getting a vest, challenge coin, certificate for completion of service dog. Also another one is going to be Matthew Pelk. He's actually flying to New York tonight to visit his children. He entered the program as well, and he's going to be graduating tonight also he'll be receiving certificate, service dog vest, and a challenge coin as well. And then that was all. So there's 5. I failed math for Marines, guys. Thank you. Oh yes, actually I did forget. Spencer Vance. So Spencer, it has the flu, so he was not we said no, you're not allowed to come tonight. So Tia, his trainer, is going to be giving his testimony, and with his dog, Ollie. Twice.
I'd like to apologize. Robert had me crying a little bit, so if I tear up a little bit during this one as well, that's why. So Spencer's testimony, he said, soldiers' best friends is more than trainers matching veterans with dogs, and more than training us to train them. I had a dog named Maximus not too long ago who qualified through Soldiers' Best Friends. Tragically, he was taken from me one day and I did not know what to do, so I called Soldiers' Best Friends. They came to the scene, took Maximus, had him cremated, and they made a special box to put his ashes in and his service dog vested. The box they had on the outside was a picture of me and him, and on one side there was an American flag, and then on the other there was Maximus's paw print. I have to say, if it wasn't for them, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be here today. But here I am with my other dog, Ali, getting ready to graduate. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, especially Shelby and Tia. Thank you.
One of the last things, though, is even though the veterans graduate to the program, for the life of the dog, they are allowed to continue training. Now, service dog training for our program is 6 to 9 months, but even after 2 years, we ask that they come back for a requalify to make sure that they're still continuing on the training and work, because as we all know, in the military, training never stops, right? So continue those skills as you progress, and even though you graduate tonight, continue those training skills.
Yeah, so want to thank you again for being here tonight. Want to remind you the journey doesn't end here. All of you that have just graduated, we all now want you to become a mentor for those who are entering into the program. So in fact, just last week we brought 2 new veterans into the program. So you can mentor up with them and help them to know they can make it because you made it, right? So we want to encourage you to do so. And we want to encourage you to stay a part of the Soldiers' Best Friend family because we care about you. And we care about your dog, and we care about your journey, and we want to help you to be successful in every step along the way. So you're part of a family now, and we want you to be a part of that. Tia mentioned about Spencer and his one dog passing away. So I would say to you that the guests that are here today, one of the things that we are going to be completing and doing is putting a memorial garden out in the yard out here to the side, just to the north of us. It's going to be a memorial garden for the dogs that have passed away or retired from our program. And we're going to be starting that here soon so that we can have a place where people can go and just have a place of reflection and remembrance for their dog that has passed away or the dog that has retired out of the program. If you want to be a part of that, you saw tonight, I always take checks, right? So if you'd like to be a part of that program. We love it when our teams and our also volunteer for us. So those of you who have graduated, by all means, we'd love to see you continue to be a part of our family and volunteer with us. Go out to events for us, speak for us on our behalf. Let other veterans know what this program has done for you and encourage them to contact Soldiers' Best Friends so that they too can go through the program. We'd appreciate it. And then lastly, I just want to acknowledge our staff tonight. So Tamara is back there carrying a tray of food, our development manager, and she has been the one that was in charge of putting together all the lovely decorations tonight. So Tamara, thank you, Tamara Silva. Also in the back is Haley Hannigan. Haley, wave your hand. Haley is our outreach specialist. I want to introduce to you as well Lynn Woodard. Lynn is our training and program coordinator, and so she oversees all of our trainers. And most importantly, she's Jonathan in line, which is a task that's difficult in and of itself. So, did I hear an amen? Oh, yeah, there we go. And then, I know you already met, but I want to say again, Shelby. And Shelby is our adoption specialist. So Shelby takes care of making sure that all of our dogs that are rescued, that they go through all the behavioral and medical evaluations they need to. She makes sure that everything that does anything to do with dogs is taken care of through the program. She's also one of our trainers helping with that as well. So, and then in the back, our Gold Star mom. Oh, that's right. You can clap for Shelby. In the back, our Gold Star mom, Tammy Pulaski. Tammy is also our bookkeeper that works for us part-time. So Tammy, thank you so much for all that you do for Soldiers' Best Friends. And then just thank you for all you guests that are here tonight. We really, truly appreciate you being a part of this graduation program. Quinn, I saw that you walked in. Welcome. Good to see you, bud. Quinn has got a product that is helping raise funds for Soldier's Best Friend, and we appreciate that. We have refreshments that have been provided to us by a veteran catering company called AZ48 Catering, so we're thankful for that. Those refreshments are for us, but before we go to those refreshments, we are going to ask if the veteran teams could all make their way up on stage. We're going to do one group photo of all of you with your dogs to come forward as well.
Well, Mick already mentioned about checks. We always take checks, but in addition to that, it's important for us to try and reach out to veterans who could benefit from our program. So spread the word about Soldier's Best Friend. It's amazing to me almost every day to learn of people that don't know that Soldier's Best Friend exists. And too many veterans are at home and at this point unreachable. Other veterans can reach them hopefully, or just word of mouth would be great. And the last thing is fosters. If you're able to foster, reach out and let Shelby know. It's a a month to 2 month commitment where you would help bring a dog that we've gotten from a shelter into your home, teach them some basic commands, get them to acclimate it, because once they're in a shelter, it's not the same thing as real life. So they need to decompress after that, and we can learn who the dog is. If you're interested, let us know. It's a very important function for our organization. Thank you again for being here.